What's going on YouTube? Nathan back with another video presentation. Hope everyone had a great week. Hope everyone's having a great weekend so far. Before we get into the video, there's a few things I need to say up front. As you have seen the title, yes, I am debuting a podcast on a go through Anchor and a go through Spotify. So today's episode will be the first for my podcast. If you want to check that out, I'll leave that link in the description. It'll be on Spotify, and it'll be also doing for the audio, of course. But the video will be here on YouTube. But if you're enjoying the content that you're seeing so far, you want to see more, be sure to hit that subscribe button, like, comment, and also too be free to feel free to give me suggestions to talk about. So a couple things we're going to recap. So in the last video, we talked about a few things. We talked about the NBA, the Wizards, Naomi Osaka, Brad Stevens, and the Boston Celtics. A couple of things has happened since then. I had a feeling that Portland was going to part ways with Terry Stotts. You know, they don't part ways with brothers and sisters. They don't. It's either we're fired or we're laid off. But Terry Stotts has taken them as far as he can. I think they just need someone better. I do not see Damian Lillard leaving whatsoever. I understand Portland's small market. It's hard to get free agents there, but who would not want to play alongside a guy like Damian Lillard? Me personally, like I said, I would get Kevin Love out of Cleveland and trade him for Yusuf Nurkic, for him to play alongside Damian Lillard. I know everyone's talking about he should just go back home to LA. Because the Lakers, I did predict they were going to get swept. There's a couple of things that Rob Pelinka and the Lakers front office have to do. They have to reevaluate the free agents. I think it's kind of telling some of the pieces that were signed just did not gel well together. You have Montrezl Harrell talking about he may not come back. He probably won't come back. Won't rejoin the Lakers next year. Alex Caruso may walk. Kyle Kuzma, he proved to me why I was never sold on him. I've always felt Brandon Ingram was a better player than him. Because I feel like when Anthony Davis and LeBron are not there on the floor, he's the third best player in my opinion. And he clearly showed to me why he's not what I thought he would be. The biggest thing with Anthony Davis, they really have to, in the office, they got to sit down with him and figure out his conditioning because he's going to have to change his game up. Tim Duncan, or LaMarcus Aldridge, because the biggest thing is these are just injuries that just seem to not be reoccurring, but it's different injuries. And on top of that, he's still young, so he's going to have to change the way he plays. The Milwaukee Bucks. I was a must-needed win Game 3 the other night. I'm a firm believer if they lose this series, which they probably will. I know they'll win Game 4 because they're at home. But if they lose this series, I think Mike Budenholzer is out the door, in my personal opinion, because the same thing with Giannis. He's taken this team as far as it can go. It's just another way around that. I still think Giannis still has in many areas as a player to grow. But I'm just a firm believer that the Brooklyn Nets, Kevin Durant is on a mission to win a championship. I just am a firm believer it's just going to be the Brooklyn Nets representing the East. The Baltimore Orioles, we'll get into that today. We'll recap the Washington Mystics defeating the Los Angeles Sparks Wednesday night. Thursday. Then we're also going to talk about some Raven football and then some around the NBA to this week. Phoenix beating Denver, Utah, and Los Angeles playing tonight, which is actually happening right now. And then we're going to talk about Scott Brooks. There was a rumor going around that he may be back. next season, but we're going to start with Le'Veon Bell. So Le'Veon Bell, running back, now a free agent, was with the Kansas City Chiefs, came out and basically said, I'd retire first before playing along alongside playing coach for playing for Andy Reid. And I thought that was a little telling. I've never heard one bad thing about Andy Reid as long as he's been a head coach. Um, I really don't know what Le'Veon Bell's problem is. I mean, he didn't like Steelers front office. He didn't like Adam Gase and the Jets. Now Andy Reid. It's like wherever he goes, he's never satisfied. And Carl Calais, Williams Calais was just a better, in my personal opinion, was a better running back. I know Le'Veon Bell had almost three, four, like under 400 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns this past season with the Chiefs, but you know, Le'Veon Bell, I just don't think fit that system. In my personal opinion, I think Le'Veon Bell comes across as a bag of sour grapes. And again, sometimes I think we just got to look at maybe it's not them, maybe it's you, because I mean, he didn't want to take the franchise tag when he was in Pittsburgh. He didn't want to be there anymore. Apparently, he and Mike Tomlin didn't get along, and he signed with the Jets. He was disappointing. That didn't work, but we all know the type of coach Adam Gase was, and and the way he destroyed Sam Darnold in New York. But that's a whole other subject for another day. So I think it's more of Le'Veon Bell. I think Le'Veon Bell has to look himself in the mirror and check him on that one, because as long as Andy Reid's been a coach in the NFL, I've never heard a bad thing about him. He's well respected by all his players, those that played for him, coaching staff as well. So I don't know what Le'Veon Bell's sniffing. So Washington Mystics defeated. I have that score incorrectly. I'm sorry. It was 89. Let me fix that. I apologize. It's 89-71. I wrote that wrong. My apologies. It was a good game overall. It's actually really good to see them back home. Everyone seemed to be on their P's and Q's from the jump. The biggest thing that stood out to me was the defense. Defense, and again, I just firmly believe defense wins championships. Ariel Atkins and Tina Charles led the way. Tina Charles had 20. Ariel Atkins had 23. The biggest thing I just noticed was the matchups. Los Angeles is just smaller, in my opinion. There were a couple times where they got Washington in the foul trouble. Savante Zealous had 4 fouls. Tina Charles had 4 fouls. Erica McCall had 4 fouls. But Los Angeles was really getting the calls their way. We just got to clean up the defense a little bit. Again, I like the fact that everyone was creating their own, was helping each other create their shots. That's the biggest thing is there may be some times where you can't get your own shot. You may need for example, Aaron Atkins shot 7 to 10 from the field and she was 60% from 3. Helping Kiara Leslie, Leilani Mitchell create a shot. Stella Johnson only played I know it was like around 7-8 minutes. She only had 4 free throws. But Erica McCall, I like her because she's just really for defense. Like I said, man, I think that it's starting to come together. Just got to be a little bit more consistent with the shooting. I think we took 70. We made out of we took, according to the box score here, we took 30 shots out of 71 from the field, and then 11 threes from 11 threes out of 26. So I think the biggest thing I noticed was definitely defense. And they had a total of 11 turnovers, but we had 12. But Los Angeles was taking some very, very sloppy shots. I felt like there was some it was very rushed. Very rushed. So very proud of the Mystics. A good win, most definitely. Like I said, the Elena Deladon there, Emma Meeseman, everyone's picking up the slack. So everyone's stepping up. It's a good game. I know we play tomorrow against Atlanta, so that'll be a good game. And also, to the Commissioner's Cup is coming around the corner, so that'll be good to see. Um, I know, I know we face Atlanta, Las Vegas, and then Phoenix. Those next three games. So yeah, so it was a good game. Next, Scott Brooks. So there was an article that came out. There was a rumor going around that the Wizards are likely to keep Scott Brooks. Is just a rumor? I'm just going to read the article here. I'll share my screen with you in a second so you guys can see it with me. Okay. According to Fred Katz of The Atlantic, there is positive momentum going Brooks' way. While Washington could easily stray away from Brooks by not retaining him for next season and beyond, NBC Sports Washington Dan Feldman speculates both sides are seemingly committed to coming to terms. A lot can change over the course of the offseason. But the Wizards haven't shown any indications of reevaluating the top of its coaching staff just yet. In fact, Russell Westbrook publicly made it clear he's in favor of Washington keeping Brooks on board following the series against Philadelphia. Well, I mean, I understand it because that was his coach when he first came into the league, but I think we have to come to grips. Scott Brooks in the 5 years that he was here, he has not made the team better. They have not gotten better as a team. And this year was and I understand, with losing Thomas Bryant, then we lost some number in the beginning of the season. COVID really hurt the team. Our first round pick, Denny Avadija, if I'm saying his last name right, I apologize. He got hurt. So I mean, I know there was kinks there, but I mean, I wouldn't mind if he came back, but I know I would need to definitely change up his coaching staff, honestly and truthfully. Again, he was lost in the conference semifinals back in 2016, his first year here, lost in the first round, and he missed the playoffs twice and lost in the first round. I think we got to set. I mean, I understand that there's baby steps when you're trying to build a championship team. When I look at this team, it's not really built for a championship. That's what I'm saying. For Tommy Shepard, you need to really get some brothers here or some pieces to help Westbrook and Beal get to the promised land. Because I'm telling you right now, I don't see Raul Neto, Robin Lopez, or Isaac Bonga. I just don't see those guys like that coming back next year. I see a guy like Ish Smith coming back. I could, I see like a guy like an Al Horford. If the Wizards could get him like in a trade or something like that. I just see the Wizards making bigger and better moves for the team. Because what this year was, I mean, it was great. I mean, you saw some definitely bright spots for sure. Daniel Gifford is definitely a guy I'd keep. Garrison Matthews, he can shoot. He's a guy I'd keep. Chandler Hutchinson is a guy that I keep. Rory, we're going to see what he looks like in the Olympics. So we'll hopefully see some more growth from him. A guy like Davis Bertans. I just don't see it. I think if you're watching, I'd find a trade partner, get yourself out that contract and get a consistent shooter. I've seen like a guy like, again, Al Horford just comes to mind, me personally. So, but we'll see. It's only rumors. But, if Scott Brooks came back, the coaching staff around him has to upgrade. It has to be changed. But, the Wizards got to get some guys here. plain and simple. Baltimore Ravens off-season updates. So far, so good. It's looking pretty good in the off-season training camp. Everyone's back. We signed Jawan James, if I'm saying his name right. Did I say his name right? Yes, offensive tackle from Denver Broncos. I wish him nothing. A speedy recovery. He tore his Achilles a couple months back while working out, and Denver let him go because I believe he was scheduled to make $20 million, and because it happened off the field, off their facility, it didn't happen there. It's just like they're not responsible for it. So he filed a grievance for it. I'd say, honestly, truthfully, I'm okay with it, but at the same time, I'm a little uncomfortable because I don't know what he's going to look like. So, I mean, it's a low risk reward. So we'll see. The deal, it's a 2-year deal worth $3.5 million with an additional $5 million in incentives. Only 500 that is, according to Ian Rappaport, is a signing bonus. So, and then also, too, I think it's good to see, what he'll look like as, training camp goes, how his rehabilitation goes, how he looks. We also signed, what's the other offensive lineman's name? He's very versatile, too. He played for the Colts. His name escapes me. Let me look him up real quick. His name really does escape me. Wow, where is it? Hold on. I'm trying to look for it. Looking for he was an offensive. I think he was like a guard or center. And we got him like on I think it was a 2-year deal. Michael Schofield played for the Panthers, played for the Chargers, played for the Broncos. He's a Super Bowl champion. That was back Super Bowl 50. Very versatile. Again, I think it's just getting depth for the offensive line for sure. So we'll see what that looks. We signed Villanueva. I'd have liked to have seen Mitchell Schwartz signed. I'd have liked it. Have been kind of interesting if Baltimore had signed them on a cheap deal because I know they're getting older with injuries. So, but we don't know what Ronnie Stanley looks like. We haven't really gotten any updates on that as far as his rehabilitation, where he's at with his rehabbing progress. So that's the only thing that concerns me. Charles Clay worked out with us, former veteran tight end. I like Charles Clay. I think we do need another tight end with that's not versatile, good hands. I remember the one play. I think he was with the was it Oakland? Oakland. We played them, and I think it was Derrick Henry. He threw this amazing pass. No, it wasn't at Oakland. It was Buffalo. He threw this. It was a good pass, and he caught it. He was just short. It wasn't against us. I can't remember who he played, but so he's working out with us. Let's see what he looks like. Todd Gurley was also here working out with us. I don't think we really need any more running backs per se. We just re-signed Gus Edwards. The only thing with Todd, I know Todd Gurley's from Baltimore. That'd have been nice to see a nice little reuniting there. But my only concern with Todd Gurley is he's just at his age, he just arthritis in his knees. And he's only 26, so that's kind of concerning. So the last thing I do remember was we didn't give him a deal. So who knows? From what I read, he said he had a good meeting with us. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. But I mean, if he did sign with us, he'd probably have to compete with Justice Hill because J.K. Dobbins proved he's the number one running back. He and Gus Edwards will share running back duties with Lamar, but yeah, I don't see how Ty Gurley. I mean, Ty Gurley could fit. My only concern is just at his age, with the arthritis, but that's neither here nor there. I do know Baltimore has, according to Spot Track here, a little under $12 million in cap. Again, we got to pay Earl Thomas. We got to pay him. His dead cap is $10 million. Mark Ingram, a little on 1.3 million. Orlando Brown, that's nothing. LJ Ford, we had to pay him $750,000. So that's the only thing that really kind of hurts is that dead cap. So the only one, well, Marlon Humphrey. Oh wow, no, but other than that, everyone, all rookies have been signed. Odafe Onwa, if I'm saying that right. I'm really curious to see what he looks like this year. I think Baltimore may have gotten the gym. I still would have been okay with Jeremiah okay, even though Cleveland picked him up. But, I mean, other than that, I'd say the Ravens are looking pretty good. Let's just call it what it is. We were never going to get Julio Jones. Listen, I'm a fan of Julio Jones, but I think Baltimore is okay. I think we're all right with who we have. So you have to understand this. I mean, we can have all the great players, we can get, but you gotta understand it's all about how would that player fit. Like the biggest question I have now that he's with Tennessee, because in my personal opinion, Tennessee is more of a running team. So you can't balance rushing and passing. Something's going to have to give in that offense. And unfortunately, Julio is going to take a hit in his numbers. But again, like I said, I don't know if Julio's that kind of cat. And then he said that he wanted to be with a quarterback that can throw the ball. So I'm not sure if that was a shot, but that's okay. I'm well content with what we had. We signed. If you paid attention, we signed Sammy Watkins to a 1-year deal, $8 million. We got Rashard Bateman in this past draft, which I'm still amazed that he was even there when he was right there for us to take. This Wallace kid out of Oklahoma, that's a diamond. That's a diamond. That's a gem Baltimore picked up. I think you have him, Hollywood Brown, Bateman, Watkins, and then obviously Poche and Duvernay. We did sign the wide receiver for Pittsburgh. He's a nice little versatile wide receiver. Let me look him up real quick. I forgot his name, but I know he played for Pittsburgh. He's pretty good. Devin Gray. So. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, Devin Gray from not Devin Gray. We got him from the Falcons. Deion Kane. My apologies. We got Deion Kane. He's a good little wide receiver, very versatile. So Baltimore, I think it's just really seeing who can fit the most. Where each guy fits. Personally, but I like the process, the progress going so far in the offseason for Baltimore. I still think Baltimore needs to get a pass rusher in there for sure. Melvin Ingram's out there. Justin Houston's out there. So I'm not sure what they're waiting for, but that linebacker core is very, very thin. Let me see. Besides Fort, Malik Harrison, Patrick Queen, Tyrese Bowser, we got Bowser, Ferguson, Fort, Pernell McPhee. I like Christian Welsh. Atoro Alaka. He was out. So We'll see what he looks like. Chris Board. So I mean, we'll see what's there, but I really think they need a veteran presence alongside those guys. But again, we're still we're still I trust the process. I trust the process. The We did cut a quarterback. I forgot his name, so that pretty much lets me know that Baltimore is okay with Huntley and McSorley as his backups. Me personally, I would like to see them get a better backup. I like Trace McSorley. I like Tyler Huntley, um, but I just I don't know. I feel like Baltimore needs a just a more sturdier backup quarterback. Not saying those guys can't get it done. Don't get me wrong. But, Trace McSorley, if y'all remember in that game against Cleveland, he went one way and his knee went the other. And Tyler Huntley, he's only played a few snaps. So, biggest thing also, too, I think is going to be key for Baltimore this year. It's going to be staying healthy. Again, I don't know what Ronnie Stanley's status is. And, again, I think the biggest thing when they beat their offensive line was to protect Lamar. I think when Lamar, got except for that concussion, I think that's when it clicked. Okay, we got to get Lamar some offensive line protection. I think it's really, I think it's fair to call out those that don't even have Baltimore at least acknowledge. I feel like there are people that are acknowledging Baltimore as a contender, but I think to put Kansas City, which is fair, even though Kyle Long got injured, I hope he's well. You don't know what Tennessee is going to look like. It's Tennessee that has not puffed up that defense, even though they paid Bud Dupree. You don't know what Julio Jones is going to look like, because the biggest thing with Julio Jones, I know he's 32, but the biggest thing the last couple of years is health. Cleveland, we don't know what they're going to look like. Like I said, I'm a firm believer Baltimore and Cleveland are going to come out the AFC North for sure. I don't know what with Odell Beckham Jr. coming back, I don't know what that's going to look like. So I mean, there's different offseason questions that we have. So I mean, but the season's not written on paper. So at the end of the day, we'll see what happens week 1. But I think Baltimore is in a position where I think they're a top 3, top 4 contender for the Super Bowl this year. Even though I'm not really settled with the lack of a pass rusher. I'm not saying the guys that we have on the roster can't do it, but I think we really do need a pass rusher. I think we need someone like a Melvin Ingram. And again, they're there. They're there for a ticket. I don't understand that. But so far, so good with the Ravens. We'll see what happens there. But it's really looking good in the offseason. Everyone looks really good so far. Ben Cleveland, Ben Mason, the rookies are really making an impact. I'm telling you, the 2019 draft class, I really hope they're motivated. I hope they're motivated from these guys. These guys are not playing around. Not playing around. Next, the Baltimore Orioles. The Orioles lost today. It was a good comeback, though. Lost 4-5 to the Tampa Bay Rays. Jorge Lopez. Listen, he actually didn't do too bad. 4 innings and two batters. Gave up 8. Started 5 runs. Struck out 8. I think the pitching slowly. It's a glaring weakness that still has to be fixed. But I think I have an idea who's just a filler in. I mean, I've seen with Jorge Lowe, he's pitched. He's had a couple of decent games this year so far. The offense wasn't bad today. Cedric Mullins had 2 hits. Freddie Galvez had 2 hits. Pat Van Lake. Uh, uh, I mean, our 4 runs came in the 5th inning, but Tampa Bay had the last laugh. I believe it was Colin McHugh that got the win. I want to say it was Colin McHugh. I know Rich Hill didn't last. He lasted like 4 innings. So, with that loss, I believe that puts us. We wrote like 14, 15 road losses so far. We play them tomorrow night. This is just coming off a night where we got embarrassed, 14-1 by the Mets at home. So, I think Baltimore will win that game tomorrow, and then we're got to go to Cleveland for a 4-game series. Ugh. Not looking forward to that matchup, but and then we're back home for 6 games. We got Houston, we got Toronto, and then Houston. They come here, and then we go to Toronto. So, again, I think we just got to keep our heads up. We're doing all the things we're doing right. We just got to the pitchers got to get better. We just got to take it game by game. Austin Waynes was the one. Was it Austin Waynes? He did start today because he hit the grand slam. But it just wasn't enough. The others got to step it up for sure. So, I still believe Cedric Mullins, Trey Mancini, and John Means are going to be all-stars. I would like to see them there. But the offense has got to get better. It has to get better. Around the NBA, let's see, the Utah Jazz is playing right now against the Clippers. The first 2 games, the first game 1 was disappointing. It was disappointing in Los Angeles. I know they're coming off beating Dallas. Kawhi Leonard, I'm really big. I really emphasize the others. The others around him got to step up. Paul George was brought there for a reason. Again, Paul George is a star. I've seen what he did, what he could do when he was in Indiana, but it's just in these moments you just can't find them. And game 2, I was really disappointed. Like in the last 2 minutes of the game, where they're taking these wild shots, and that's not going to get it done if you're the Clippers. They kept the game close, but when you're hosting up threes, like was it Marcus Morris? Marcus Morris was nowhere to be found. Like we're giving him the ball, and here he is. He's missed like the last 3 shots. Game 1, I thought that was a bad basketball IQ. You got a 7-foot guy on you. Lean into him to get the 3 fouls, but didn't think. But this is what Ty Lue has to say tonight. Hey, listen. Paul Westphal, when he was the coach for the Phoenix Suns in 1992, they faced the Los Angeles Lakers when they were the 8th seed. Hey, listen. This is what Ty Lue's got to say. Hey, listen. Give the Utah Jazz credit. They have played 2 great games. Spider Mitchell's a great player. We're going to go home. We're going to win game 3. We're going to win game 4, 5, and 6. And people are going to say what a great comeback this is. I think the biggest thing is the others have to step up. Reggie Jackson, I'm telling you right now, somebody's going to pay him the money. Someone's going to pay him the money he needs. I like the adjustment. Patrick Beverley come off the bench. I think they should play small. I like how they played Game 7 against Dallas, and they had Nicholas Batum at center. I think they should go that lineup. I think there's more versatile and more consistent shooters, in my opinion. But I believe Utah will win this game tonight. It's just the others got to step it up. The Phoenix Suns, they're going to sweep the Denver Nuggets. I feel bad for the Nuggets without my boy Jamal Murray there. The Joker can only do but so much. I'm a firm believer the Jokic is a star, but I'm not Jokic. The Joker is a star, but it's the others. The others have got to step up. Aaron Gordon, not this game, but the previous game. See, you got to see everybody has a vocal leader on every team that's different. But you can't come at me and say you're not doing this, you're not doing this, you're not doing that, and you gave me 6 points. This is in the last game, not this one. You got to give me more. I mean, I got to see you doing everything on the offensive, defensive side of the ball. And for a guy like that to come at me, he only scored 6 points. Not in this game, but I just think Aaron Gordon was wrong. But everyone's different on the team, on each team. So I don't think it got any better. I think without Jamal Murray, I think the Joker needs help. The others around him got to step up. That's just plain and simple. I do believe he deserved the MVP. Me personally, if you pushed me, I think he and Embiid should have been co-MVPs. But I know we don't do that at all, which is neither here nor there. I thought the voting was fair. I wouldn't know who voted for. Derrick Rose got a vote for MVP. Let's take a look at that and actually show y'all that. Even though, let me find it. Okay, let me share the screen. So look. Okay, hold on. I'm sorry about that. And ad blockers just randomly popped up like that. I apologize. Let's try this again. Okay, so Chris Paul got 2 first place votes, but I thought this was fair. I can't go wrong with it. Cannot disagree.
I just hope again
at all with that. I definitely think Damian Lillard should have got some more love than that. In my personal opinion, James Harden, I know why he wasn't going to win MVP. I just think the situation would happen in Houston, just rubbed some feathers the wrong way. LeBron James was injured and did not play like the LeBron James that I know that he is. And then Kawhi Leonard, Rudy Gobert was much deserved Defensive Player of the Year for sure. Julius Randle has to do some serious off work, and some work in the off season. I think working on his game, developing the jump shot. Instead of going left, learn how to go right. Luka Doncic is a star. He's proven that to me. Kristaps Porzingis has got to step it up. It's kind of really, he came up with a comment. He said he's fed up with his role, but I think a lot of it has to do with you need to really step your game up. That's just me. But I don't think Rick Carlisle will go anywhere personally. But I do see some guys like, man, I don't know what Tim Hardaway is going to do. He'll probably stay. Luka, they're going to give Luka the max for sure. But I see Dallas. I give another 2 years. They'll get to the finals. I predict that. The Brooklyn Nets and the Milwaukee Bucks. I'm not going to get on Bruce Brown for that, only because I think it was he saw an opportunity and he took it. I think what came down to was the fact when you have Kyrie Irving and Joe Harris shooting a combined 21 for 61, that can't happen. Joe Harris is a proven shooter, and so is Kyrie Irving. I think there was some bad shots Brooklyn took, and again, I think there's some cockiness there for sure. But Giannis and Chris Middleton stepped up. I I see them winning. I see it, but then I just don't really know what the rest of the series is going to look like. I don't know. I have to see what game 4 looks like. Philadelphia and Atlanta. I have Philadelphia winning that series. I just think that Philadelphia, I think, just has more of an arsenal than Atlanta. I mean, don't get me wrong. John Collins, Trey Young, Kevin Herter, uh, shout out to Bruno, Kevin, Maryland. I guess Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons. That's you can't nothing you can do. And Joel Embiid's playing on a bad knee, which I'm surprised he's even playing on. I would still do the same thing like Washington did if I'm Atlanta. Just foul him, hack him in, double team him, but you can't really do that when you have Steph Curry and Seth Curry, Tobias Harris, and I think Philadelphia is just got too many secret weapons for Atlanta to stop. I do see Atlanta winning the next game, but I have Philadelphia winning the series in 6. And then the Nuggets, like I said, they're going to get swept. Devin Booker he's. I just have nothing to say on that. Devin Booker is a star. Is a superstar. I don't. I to me when I see him, I'm amazed at the way he's worked. I know for when he came in, Phoenix was a developing team, and to see where the team's at now, I think Kobe would be proud. I think CP3 and also too there, Monty Williams. Again, Monty Williams, you got to give him credit. I think Monty Williams and Tom Thibodeau, again, you could give that award to both, but neither here nor there. I wanted to go back into Utah. Stephen A. Smith has said that Donovan Mitchell is the greatest player for the Utah Jazz's franchise. First and foremost, I think Donovan Mitchell, I hate to do it, but he needs to win a championship first. Karl Malone, John Stockton have gotten to the NBA Finals twice, but unfortunately, they lost to a guy by the name of Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls. And what those two have done for their franchise. Hey, what's going on, man? Welcome. I appreciate you. Shout out to Brazil. What part of the Brazil are you from? Welcome. Yeah, for sure. I think that I disagreed with that statement. I disagreed with that for sure. He's not the best franchise player for the team. I think personally it's Malone and Stockton both. You can make an argument for Malone, but Donovan Mitchell he's rising, but I'm no. Let's calm that down for a minute, Stephen A. And again, that's Stephen A. Smith, but that's neither here nor there. So, but I mean, really, that's really what's going on around basketball so far. I've been really enjoying the games. I definitely think this is a changing of the guard with LeBron. LeBron's not there this year. I think you're seeing rising stars in Jason Tatum, Luka, Devin Booker, and Devin Mitchell. I think you're seeing change in the guard for sure. So we definitely know when LeBron retires that the NBA is in great hands. That's a fact. Same thing when Michael retired. You had Kobe, Shaq, Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady. So same thing when LeBron retires. The league's going to be in great hands. You have Donovan Mitchell, Damian Lillard, Jason Tatum, Luka Doncic. Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, Bradley Beal. I think the league will be in great hands when it's all said and done for LeBron. Um, I definitely do think going forward, I gotta see what happens tonight in this game. I'm about to go back and go and watch it now. But whoever wins this game is going to the finals between Utah and Los Angeles. I have Brooklyn representing the East in the finals, so that's just proven. That's just it's going to happen. Um, but y'all let me know your thoughts. Um, who do you think is going to win the NBA championship? Who do you have, winning these series? I have faith in the Clippers. They'll win, but we'll see. Also, too, I did want to point out, I wanted to congratulate Simone Biles on her most recent championship for the Olympics. Congratulations. Was really disappointed it was not talked about. Instead, we talked about Jake Paul and Floyd Mayweather when that was really honestly and truthfully not a good fight. In my personal opinion, Floyd should have knocked his ass out somewhere like in the third, fourth round. But that got more attention than Simone Biles winning her recent Olympic trial. Only thing is, Simone Biles is great, but did Gabby Douglas die or something like that? I'm not here to take a shot at her, Simone Biles, because it's her moment. She deserves it. I'm a fan of Simone Biles, and I understand where she's come from, and the work she puts in is well deserved. I just felt like it should have got more publicity than what it got. I didn't also get a chance. I wanted to give my condolences to the family of Mark Eaton, former center for the Utah Jazz. That was shocking to hear. My dad used to tell me stories about Mark Eaton. He was a great ball player, was 7'3". I think he like 1 year, I think he averaged like 4.5 blocks a game, something like that. And then I found out, I was watching this at the NBA, Sean Bradley was paralyzed from some type, I think it was like a biking accident. So I just want to give my thoughts and prayers out to his family as well. Also, too, I wanted to also touch on this subject real quick. I can find it. This is kind of a murky territory here, but Lisa Leslie had talked about who should get a shoe deal, and Isabel Harrison came out and said, I'll show the tweet in a second. So she came out and said, I've been in the league for 5 years and I wanted to have a shoe deal, but not just to get shoes and apparel. I really want to be part of a brand that I can show off my modeling and promote to other areas outside of athletics. Wishful thinking. Lisa Leslie was on Bleachers Report, and she had said something that Diana Taurasi should have a signature shoe, and that kind of got everybody talking about it, and we were all kind of agree because Diana Taurasi is a future Hall of Famer. Yesterday was her birthday, and I think it was kind of I wouldn't say like a bag of sour grapes, but I feel like you got to put in the work. I think it's all about putting in the work. Nothing's handed to you in life. You got to work for it. And I'm not saying Isabel is that kind of player. I don't know Isabel Harris. I know she's for the Dallas Wings. She's a good role player. But at the end of the day, in 5 years, hey, like, are you like, this is where, we kind of, you should be taking the necessary steps to elevating your game. My only concern about the W is how, where, how are we branding the league? Are we branding the league, or we're branding ourselves? That's my only question. Because I mean, that tweet that kind of came across as, I've been in the league for 5 years. I need to, and I want to, and where's my shoe deal at? And I could be reading in between the lines, but I just feel like, okay, you want something like that, work for it. Same thing when people talk about, I wish I had more money. Go get another job. Grind your ass off. Plain and simple. Nothing is handed to you. You got to work for it. And again, I don't know Isabel Harrison. For all I know, she could be doing that all the time. But when she said to promote her modeling and branding, that's not really for basketball. That's more for her brand, and that's my only concern. Like, when we're saying that, is it helping promote your brand with WNBA? So uh, that's the only thing that kind of stood out to me about that tweet. But that is the end of the debut episode of my. This episode will go on a podcast on Spotify. I try to get the other ones on, but I can't do that. So this is the start of a new podcast that'll go on Spotify and Anchor. So if you like the video here on YouTube, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on the subject I touched on today. But with that being said, have a good weekend. Stay safe. I'll see you soon.